Good morning and welcome back. We're talking about kids this morning, from raising them to helping them give back and pursuing their passions. Let's be honest, we all want our children to be the best versions of themselves, but putting pressure on them to do so can cause the opposite reaction. There's ways, though, to help them grow and succeed. Joining us right now to help navigate that area, supporting your child to reach their goals, is Kim Minch, founder of Real Life Parent Guide. Good morning to you, Kim.
Good morning, Cleo. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you. So when we talk about that passion or talent in our children, we want to make sure they find it without putting too much pressure on them. So how can parents foster that development in their child?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to look into what are your child's strengths. And you don't really know that at first unless you try a number of different things to see what they're good at, what they're interested in. So, first and foremost, when you want to support them, it's going to be a lot easier if they're excited about or happy about what their activity is or what they're doing, right? So, parents exposing their kids to a number of things when they're young is really important. And also, I think one of the most important things we can do as parents is encourage their efforts rather than make it about the outcome, the achievement, right? It's great when we win, but it's really much more important to foster a sense of effort and skills that they're learning and that they're getting better at.
I suppose there, Kim, new studies show that volunteering can help your child grow. How do parents introduce that to their child, and where do you start?
Well, I think it's interesting because I'm just thinking about my own family and five kids, 18 years apart. And I was always trying to find a way that we could volunteer. And it's sometimes harder when kids are really young. So I think that there's a number of church organizations that people can get involved in, but the whole sense of sharing with your family that the world is greater than ourselves, that we all have a role to play. And parents, even if your kids are too young to volunteer right now, you are setting an example. So is there some way that you can get involved, whether it's in their school, their daycare, somewhere in the community, that you can lead by example?
Yeah, makes sense. That makes sense, Kim. We were just talking about our children being well-rounded. Where does that begin? How does that begin? How do you help parents with that?
Oh my goodness. It sounds like the same as work-life balance. Is
Yeah,
that
it's a
possible?
loaded
And
question.
are we, yeah, and I think, well, again, it goes back to looking at your kids and exposing them to a number of different things until you really see like what clicks with them. I remember one of my sons, we started him in t-ball and that wasn't his thing. So we did soccer, and then it was finally taekwondo that he really, really gravitated to and did that for many years.
hmm
So don't get discouraged. Again, look at the effort. Parents also, really, if you're one of those competitive type of parents, you have to be very careful to um, sometimes bite your tongue and bite. So
hmm
when the kid comes
hmm
off the field and if they've like not done something well or whatever, to focus on what they have done well as opposed to hammering on them about what they didn't do well. No one
No.
likes that parent.
No, I totally get it. And I've seen a lot of parents like that as well. How can parents support their child's interests and talents without maybe putting unneeded pressure on their lives?
Again, I think we focus on where they're doing well. We focus on the effort that they're making, teamwork. I mean, there's so many skills that they learn from extracurricular activities, whether it is time management, how to work on a team, how to work with a coach, how to listen to and respect another adult outside of their classroom and outside of the parents, right? So
hmm
parents looking at this as not just a skill set, but all of the other things that go along with learning and being a part of an extracurricular activity. So all of those aspects. How are they managing their time? How are they getting along with the other kids on the team if there's a team?
Kim, great advice. How can parents reach out to you, especially with spring break right around the corner? They might need some ideas.
Yeah. They can get a hold of me on through my website, which is reallifeparentguide.com.
All right, Kim, thank you so much for joining us here on Daybreak.